Let us delve into a parable by King Solomon about decision-making, followed by its interpretation. As is customary in the book of Proverbs, each verse has both a parable and its moral, each true in its own right. King Solomon says, "Without counsel the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." In this parable, King Solomon advises leaders, do not rely solely on simple logic. Instead, delve deeper into the matter and reflect thoroughly. Without counsel, the people fall. What does counsel mean? Today, we might call it thinking outside the box. Avoid conventional thinking. Go beyond the ordinary. Following routine may lead to mistakes or even disasters. As Solomon warns, the people fall. Leaders must anticipate challenges, learn the enemy's strategies, and act preemptively. This guidance applies not only to national leaders, but also to individuals facing personal challenges. Do not stop at superficial thoughts saying, "That's it, I'm done." Think further, dig deeper, and push your mind to discover additional actions or strategies. Often, what initially seems unsolvable becomes clear through deeper contemplation and unconventional planning. Many examples in history demonstrate how such thinking has resolved complex situations. The Jewish people have long been known for brilliant strategies, especially in times of war. Consider Operation Entebbe. Who would have imagined flying to Uganda, rescuing hundreds of hostages, and returning them safely to Israel? This success was only possible through unconventional thinking. The team studied what Ugandan President Idi Amin's convoy looked like, replicated it in Israel, and used it to mislead the guards. When the guards saw what appeared to be the president's convoy, they opened the gates, enabling the team to execute their rescue plan. Unfortunately, the mission commander, Yonatan Netanyahu, fell during the operation, and one hostage, who was hospitalized, was tragically murdered. However, the mission succeeded overall, rescuing nearly all the hostages. The entire world was astounded. This is the essence of counsel, thinking outside the box. Routine thinking leads to despair. Creative thinking opens the door to solutions. The sages teach, even if a sharp sword rests upon a person's neck, they should not despair of mercy. What does sharp sword mean? It refers to a moment of extreme danger when the situation seems utterly hopeless. Yet even then, one must hold on to faith and seek mercy. An example of this is King Hezekiah, who faced a seemingly hopeless situation. According to the Talmud, Hezekiah was gravely ill and nearing death. God commanded the prophet Isaiah to visit him and deliver a dire prophecy. "Set your house in order, for you shall die and not live." When Hezekiah asked why, Isaiah revealed that Hezekiah had not married or fulfilled the commandment to have children. Hezekiah explained that he foresaw through divine inspiration that his descendants would stray into idol worship. Yet Isaiah rebuked him. Why involve yourself in God's calculations? Your duty is to fulfill the commandment. Hezekiah then asked to marry Isaiah's daughter, hoping their combined merits might produce righteous offspring. Isaiah refused, stating the prophecy was absolute. But Hezekiah, deeply faithful, responded, "Even if a sharp sword rests on a person's neck, they should not despair of mercy." He turned to the wall and prayed fervently. As Isaiah departed, God commanded him to return and inform Hezekiah that his prayer was heard and his life would be extended by 15 years. The moral of this story and King Solomon's parable is clear. In life, Whether facing personal challenges or communal responsibilities, we must think creatively, seek advice, and remain steadfast in faith and determination. Even in seemingly impossible situations, solutions can arise through unconventional thinking and unwavering hope. Do not despair. Push the boundaries of your thoughts, act with courage, and believe in the possibility of change. On overcoming challenges and making decisions. Lessons from King Solomon. When faced with challenges, it's vital to maintain hope and believe in a better future. King Solomon, in his timeless wisdom, provides a profound message about decision-making in his proverb. Without strategy, a nation falls, but salvation comes with many advisors. In this metaphor, Solomon speaks of the need for thoughtful, creative planning, what we might call thinking outside the box today. He emphasizes that failing to strategize and think ahead can lead to disastrous outcomes, even for entire nations. However, by consulting others and striving for innovative solutions, success and salvation are achievable. King Solomon's words highlight the dangers of falling into routine thinking. Whether as leaders of a nation or in personal life, we must avoid resignation and push ourselves to think deeper and further. When there is an effort to brainstorm, to imagine new possibilities, and to plan strategically, even seemingly hopeless situations can turn around. During Israel's Six-Day War, fear gripped the nation. Elderly citizens in Tel Aviv prepared public parks to serve as mass graves, anticipating catastrophic losses against the overwhelming forces of surrounding Arab nations. At that time, Israel was small, its military limited, and its situation dire. Yet the outcome defied expectations. What made the difference? Strategy. The Israeli Air Force preemptively attacked Egyptian aircraft while they were still grounded, neutralizing a significant threat before it could materialize. This decisive move, combined with faith and effort, turned the tide. While divine intervention is always a factor in Jewish tradition, the importance of human effort and strategic thinking is equally emphasized. Another famous example comes from Greek history, the tale of the Trojan horse. After 10 years of failing to breach the city of Troy, the Greeks feigned retreat, leaving behind a massive wooden horse as an offering of peace. The Trojans brought it into their city, unaware it concealed Greek soldiers. Under the cover of night, the soldiers emerged, opened the city gates, and allowed the Greek army to conquer Troy. Whether this story is historical or mythical, it highlights the principle that innovative thinking can achieve what brute force cannot. King Solomon's phrase, "Salvation comes with many advisors," carries a deep and deliberate meaning. It teaches that consulting others is essential, but the decision itself must ultimately rest with one leader. The wisdom of this approach is underscored by the Vilna Gaon, who explains that while seeking advice from many is crucial, relying on collective decision-making alone can lead to chaos. For example, in the military, if every commander acted on their own understanding without central leadership, the results would be disastrous. Instead, Solomon advises, seek the perspectives of many, including those with less expertise or different viewpoints. As King David humbly expressed, "From all my teachers I have gained wisdom." Even a great leader like David recognized that there is something to learn from everyone, no matter their status or experience. Solomon's teachings are not just for kings or leaders of nations, but for everyone. Parents guiding their children, managers leading teams, or individuals navigating personal challenges, all can benefit from thinking strategically, seeking advice, and taking decisive action. The key is to combine humility with initiative, consult others, listen carefully, and then take ownership of the final decision. King Solomon's wisdom reminds us that hope, effort, and thoughtful planning are essential in overcoming life's challenges. Never despair, no matter the circumstances. With creativity, collaboration, and courage, even the most daunting obstacles can lead to triumph. Every person possesses their own life wisdom, gained through personal experience, particularly older individuals. The Talmud teaches us to appreciate the elderly for their life experience. In today's world, the focus is often on youth. Media and societal norms emphasize that the world belongs to the young, while older generations are considered part of the past. Judaism, however, views this differently. The Torah states, "Rise before the aged and honor the presence of the elder." The terms elder, zaken, and aged, seva, have distinct meanings in Torah language. Today, these words are often misinterpreted. In biblical terms, elder refers to someone wise, regardless of their age. Even a young person with wisdom is to be honored. Aged refers to someone advanced in years. The Torah commands us to rise in respect for the aged and honor their presence. This is also an important message for young people. Many have grandparents who observe the mistakes made by their grandchildren or children but hesitate to speak up, thinking, "They won't listen to me. They believe they know better." Often young people only learn from experience after making painful mistakes. However, if a young person takes the initiative to sit with their grandparents, ask for advice, and seek their guidance, it not only honors them but also benefits the younger generation. The Torah emphasizes honoring one's parents, and this respect extends to grandparents as well. Engaging with them, asking questions, and valuing their opinions make them feel appreciated and significant. Their advice can provide wisdom and clarity. King Solomon famously said, "Salvation comes with many advisors." This teaches the importance of consulting others, especially those with expertise and wisdom. However, the final decision must rest with the individual. The Hebrew word for king, melech, offers profound insight. It derives from the root nimlach, to consult. A true king, by definition, seeks counsel. Leadership is not about unilateral decision-making, but about consulting others and drawing on collective wisdom. History demonstrates that every great leader, whether a king, prime minister, or president, relies on a team of advisors. Each advisor provides unique perspectives, enabling the leader to make balanced, informed decisions. A wise person understands that seeking advice is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. A fool decides independently, without seeking other viewpoints, while a wise person recognizes the value of different perspectives. Consulting others often reveals new ideas or alternative approaches that may not have been previously considered. By weighing all opinions and synthesizing them into a coherent strategy, the likelihood of making the right decision increases significantly. This metaphor offers a powerful lesson for everyone. Do not let ego or overconfidence prevent you from seeking advice. Recognize the wisdom of others, be open to learning, and use their insights to guide your decisions. What is the moral of the story? Seek wisdom in others, honor those with experience, and embrace the power of collective thought. The Malbim, Rabbi Meir Leibush ben Yehiel Mihel, a prominent commentator on the Bible, offers profound interpretations of inner struggles. He explains that in Proverbs, King Solomon speaks metaphorically about an internal war against one's inner adversaries. The Malbim states that without strategic planning or effort, a person can fall victim to their physical and spiritual weaknesses. The verse, "For lack of counsel, the people fall," is seen as a call to action. If a person resigns themselves to their flaws, saying, "I am angry by nature," or "I cannot control my desires," they surrender to their impulses. This passive acceptance leads to mistakes and suffering, whether in their spiritual or physical life. For example, spiritually, a person may commit sins because they feel they cannot overcome their inclinations. Physically, someone who indulges in unhealthy eating or smoking, despite knowing the consequences, might excuse their behavior with, "This is just who I am." The Malbim urges individuals to take proactive steps, seek advice by consulting experts or mentors for guidance. In many cases, an external perspective reveals solutions that are not immediately obvious. Engaging in Torah study and exploring ethical teachings opens the door to wisdom and practical advice that can help with self-improvement. The Torah, the Malbim explains, is not limited to spiritual matters, but encompasses insights into science, medicine, technology, and more. Consider these examples. During the Exodus, the clouds of glory surrounding the Israelites could scan sealed containers to reveal their contents. This concept parallels modern imaging technology. The Talmud describes the Zamir worm, which engraved stones with radiation-like precision, an ancient precursor to modern laser technology. Halacha, the Jewish law, instructs beginning the night sleeping on the left side and later turning to the right. Modern science now supports this practice, showing that it aids digestion and improves blood flow during sleep. The Torah provides guidance on every aspect of life, including health, character development, and life's challenges. Instructions that may seem arbitrary often have profound benefits. For instance, the sleeping position mentioned above demonstrates the Torah's alignment with scientific findings. The Torah offers unparalleled advice for refining personality traits and improving emotional well-being. Whether addressing morality, science, or interpersonal relationships, the Torah contains solutions that have stood the test of time. The Malbim's teachings remind us that passivity leads to stagnation, while effort and guidance lead to growth. By studying Torah and seeking advice, we can tackle both spiritual and practical challenges. The Torah's timeless wisdom continues to inspire and guide humanity, as encapsulated in the saying, "Turn it over and over, for everything is in it." Even seemingly small details, like which side to sleep on, reveal the Torah's deep understanding of life and its intricacies. Modern science continues to reveal the profound wisdom in ancient teachings. Beyond the mystical significance of right and left in Kabbalah, research has shown practical benefits as well. For example, sleeping on the left side aids digestion by reducing pressure from the liver on the digestive system. Later, transitioning to the right side improves blood flow and promotes overall health during sleep. These findings were highlighted in books and studies that delve into the intersection of Torah wisdom and modern science. Even seemingly arbitrary actions, like tying shoes, carry deeper spiritual meanings. According to halacha, Jewish law, one should first put on the right shoe without tying it, then the left shoe, tie the left, and finally return to tie the right. This order, right, left, right, is not random. In Kabbalah, the right side symbolizes chesed, kindness, while the left side represents gevura, strength. The balance between the two is achieved through harmony. Starting with the right emphasizes the importance of kindness over strictness, aligning with spiritual principles. This principle extends to other actions, such as the posture during prayer. Halacha instructs placing the right hand over the left as a gesture of humility, symbolizing the dominance of kindness over strength. Some Kabbalists even avoid intertwining their fingers from both hands, viewing it as a blending of energies that should remain distinct. Although not prohibited, this caution highlights the intentionality behind every action. A fascinating story illustrates this point. A world-renowned artist once strengthened his faith under the guidance of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He presented the Rebbe with an incredibly lifelike portrait. The Rebbe immediately noted that the artist had painted from memory, not from a photograph. When asked how he knew, the Rebbe explained that he had never intertwined his fingers as depicted in the painting. This practice, rooted in Kabbalah, emphasizes always enhancing kindness over strength. The same applies to facial hair, particularly a man's beard. Kabbalistic teachings describe the beard as channels of kindness, while the hair on the head represents strength. Shaving the beard with a blade disrupts these spiritual channels by uprooting hairs at their roots, which Torah prohibits. Using a trimming machine, which cuts without damaging the roots, is permissible and maintains this spiritual connection. This balance also manifests in practices like hand washing. Water is first poured into the right hand, symbolizing service, then passed to the left, which assists the right. Similarly, shoes are put on starting with the right, then the left. But tying begins with the left to reflect the teaching of tefillin. The Torah specifies tying tefillin straps on the weaker arm, typically the left, which represents humility. According to the Zohar, tying the straps spiritually binds negative forces, locking them away. The wisdom of Torah extends even further. A study conducted at Hebrew University found that men who pray regularly in synagogues live longer, healthier lives. This aligns with the Talmud's teaching that attending prayer services leads to a life of health and longevity. Although some may worry about losing work time by attending morning prayers, Torah assures that dedicating time to God brings blessings and success many times over. This principle is evident in the lives of great Torah scholars who maintained mental sharpness and vitality well into their 90s and beyond. For instance, Rabbi Aharon Leib Steinman, who passed away at over 100 years old, remained intellectually clear and deeply insightful. When asked the secret of his longevity, his life of Torah observance, humility, and spiritual balance was highlighted as a guiding factor. These teachings underscore the profound connection between practical actions and spiritual growth. By following the Torah's wisdom, one can enhance not only their physical health, but also their spiritual well-being, creating a balanced and meaningful life. When asked how the great sages of Israel managed to live such long lives with mental clarity, a group of rabbis, including Rabbi Steinman, was posed this question: how is it that you are 98, 96, or 103 years old and still so sharp and clear-headed? What is your secret? The expected answer was, because we study Torah. However, Rabbi Steinman's response was unexpected. Because we don't eat much. He explained, people die because they eat too much. Rabbi Steinman's minimalist diet was legendary. For decades, his breakfast consisted solely of a cup of oatmeal. When someone once added honey to it, he refused to eat, saying, "This is just indulgence in worldly desires." For him, food was simply fuel for the body, not a source of pleasure. As the Rambam, Maimonides, taught, a person should eat not what is tasty, but what is healthy for the body. Rabbeinu Rabbi expands on this idea in his commentary on the Torah. He writes that after Adam ate from the tree of knowledge, humanity's approach to eating changed. Before that, Adam ate only what his body needed to replenish the nutrients lost in the previous 24 hours. If he needed 3 grams of calcium, half a milligram of magnesium, or a specific amount of iron, his body knew how to measure and consume exactly that amount. This precise balance allowed him to remain eternally youthful and healthy. However, eating from the tree of knowledge introduced desires into human nature. People began to eat for pleasure rather than health. This excessive and unbalanced eating weakened the body, leading to its eventual decay and death. If a scientist today could develop a machine that scans a person daily to determine exactly what nutrients they have lost and need to replenish, that person could theoretically live forever with a youthful appearance and no wrinkles. Such technology is unattainable for now, but is described in messianic times, when death will be swallowed forever and humanity will return to the level of Adam before his sin. Even today, by following the guidance of Torah, a person can extend their life and enjoy health and happiness. Shabbat, for instance, provides unparalleled peace of mind, a time without phones, filled with prayer, songs, Torah discussions, and family meals. This way of life brings a profound sense of balance and fulfillment. Rabbi also ties this concept to spiritual preparedness. He explains that all suffering, whether personal or collective, stems from spiritual deficiencies. When Israel faces adversity, it is a call to introspection and repentance. For example, Rashi comments on the verse, "For lack of strategy, a nation falls," Proverbs 11:14, explaining that when Israel faces challenges and fails to strategize spiritually through prayer, self-reflection, and repentance, they risk downfall. The Rambam adds that it is cruelty to attribute such events to coincidence, as doing so prevents people from recognizing their spiritual cause and correcting their ways. The Rambam further explains that when people ignore these signs and attribute calamities to random occurrences, they perpetuate the cycle of suffering. For example, thinking that conflicts with groups like Hezbollah or Hamas are just part of the world misses the deeper message. When calamities strike, they are calls from God to return to Him, improve one's actions, and strengthen the connection to Torah and mitzvot.